Hello there, this is Carlo here, and welcome to another quick video, a requested video from one of my subscribers about what plugins I have for After Effects. Now, I am doing this on Windows, and there's a big reason why I'm showing plugins on Windows rather than the Mac side of things. I do have After Effects on Mac, but within Windows there's a lot more productivity available for Windows, in a sense where there's a lot more plugins available. I never really understand why, but half the plugins I've got are not available on the Mac, which is a bit odd, a bit strange, but I suppose After Effects on Windows has been out a little bit longer, I suppose, than on the Mac, so it might be easier to write for, I don't know, but that's why I'm doing this video on Windows. Also, it's not just that, I prefer working in Windows anyway. Not just saying that there's anything wrong with the Mac, because it's absolutely fantastic to work in After Effects on Mac, but I do prefer you know, the amount of plugins that are available by third-party publishers on the PC that are not basically available on the Mac. So let's just have a quick look. So I'm just going to create a new composition, just bring up a solid, and this will allow me to get access to my effects window. Obviously it's all grayed out if you don't do this. So let's just click on effects, and as you can see I've got quite a few plugins here. Plugins you know, from the HitFilm collection, Red Giant, and obviously the famous Video Copilot as well, as well as the Foundry camera tracker. I do have the complete Foundry suite, and I do find camera tracking within Nuke is a lot better than actually tracking, or even using Buju, which is here, than actually tracking within After Effects. But After Effects does a pretty good job in tracking footage anyway. But I wanted to have options. A lot of people say that Buju is the best program to use for tracking. You know, After Effects has its very own tracking program available, but then let's just go and find it for a second, my plugins, which is here, which is the built-in tracker for After Effects. But then a lot of people prefer to use the Foundry's camera tracker because they think, or they say, it's a lot more accurate, a lot more correct at tracking points in a film or in a project. So let's just click on my solid so I can get my effects back up. HitFilms. I'll be honest with you, I've not really used any of the HitFilms plugins yet. I do intend to when the time's right, but I've not come across anything apart from the keying stuff, which is like Keylight 1.2 or 1.1 that I've actually used in this plugin. But you know, saying that, it is nice to have the option to use it if I do need it. You know, you've even got here at HitFilms, you've got light and flares. I wouldn't use that really, because I prefer to use the optical flares in Video Copilot, because I just think it's a lot more better. But there are a few plugins down here by Red Giant. As you can see, I've got the Red Giant suite here that I have used, which has included Tsunami, which is a great plugin for creating oceans and stuff like that, and waves, so on and so on. It's just an easier way of doing things. So that's a great plugin here. Also Trapcode Particular, which is absolutely fantastic plugin. Particular is just absolutely, you know, to die for. Let's just here, as you can see, Trapcode Particular. Absolutely fantastic a program to use within After Effects. You know, there's so much you could do with Trapcode. It's just unreal. Let's just try and remember how I do this. So if I go to, it's been a long time. Composition, register, which we've done. Right, so let's go to emitter. Basically, you're presented, you know, particulars, basically elements that you can actually create within your composition, like fire, any type of liquid effect, fire effect, smoke, anything that involves having particles. This will give you the option to use. So this is an absolutely awesome plugin, absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend, you know, if you was to go for any third-party plugin packs, bar Video Copilot, I would say, you know, go for Red Giant, especially if you're big into After Effects. You know, that is a pack you would use. Like I say, hit films not so much. I've not really used this for anything, but I do feel that at some point these hit film plugins here would literally come in handy at some point. All the other ones that, you know, Denoiser and stuff like that, the Colour Suite, I've not really used that much, but then, like I say, there will come a point where I will use it. For what, I don't know, but they should come in handy at some point. So like I say, obviously we've got Foundry, a single plugin here, Tracker 1.0. The camera tracker, I do prefer the tracking features over the built-in tracker within After Effects. I feel like it does a better job, but then I do feel like the camera tracker in Nuke does a better job than the camera tracker in After Effects, which is a bit weird, but that's the way it goes, really. Then we've obviously got, you know, apart from the Hit Films plugin, Red Giant plugin, we've got the famous Video Copilot Elements pack. I have got every single Elements 3D pack that Video Copilot has released, which I'm quite proud of. I try and stay sort of on top of it as best I can, and, you know, within my budget, obviously. But I'm a big fan of the Elements packs in general. I have a full review, full review at each of these packs on my channel, so have a look through that. You know, the Elements 3D packs, you know, Jetstripe, Motion Design, all the way to Sports, so on and so on, Fresh Foods. But, you know, packs that totally, you know, absolutely fantastic packs. I do believe that they're the best packs you can actually get within After Effects. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let's cancel out of that. So let's go back into Effects, and obviously you've got, you know, Heat Distortion, which is another great plugin. Optical Flares, which is a massive plugin. It is literally used all the time. Optical Flares, for me, it is one of the most used plugins that I use in After Effects, without a shadow of a doubt. So, you know, like I say, you know, if you're an After Effects person and you like your visual effects, Optical Flares is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, if not the best plugin you can get for After Effects, without a shadow of a doubt. It gives your videos a whole dimension and a whole scale of how it looks. It really does do the job the way it's meant to do. It's not only that, lighting is very important, and light effects is very important, you know, in an effect or a motion picture. You know, it's one of the biggest effects you can have, or the biggest, how can I put it, the biggest visual you can have in a film project. So yeah, I mean, that is definitely worth purchasing. If you don't get anything, I will say get the Optical Flares. if you're, look, at the end of the day, if you're an After Effects person and you want to use After Effects, there's certain things you need to have. There's certain programs you need to think to yourself, right, if I'm going to take this seriously, I need to invest in certain things. This is one of them. Optical flares and Elements is definitely another one, which is, without a shadow of a doubt, worth getting. I mean, you can avoid, you know, things like the camera tracker, because After Effects, like I say, does have a built-in camera tracker available for it. But, you know, if you want the job done a little bit better, then, you know, you think to yourself, you know, is it worth me spending out, you know, 150 quid on this plugin when I don't need to? But, you know, it's down to choice at the end of the day, and it's down to what you prefer, and basically what you're going to use it for. I mean, for instance, Tsunami, you know, it's like I say, this is a plugin that helps you, like you can see here, create waves. It gives you a template, and then you can sort of play around with that template and animate this wave the way you want. And then when you render it, all this actually moves. All this water actually moves. The only thing with using a plugin like Tsunami, it is GPU intensive, and it does, you know, take a strain on your computer. But once this is rendered, the effects you get from this moving water is just absolutely second to none. It really is. I mean, I've just rendered a couple of scenes, but you know, absolutely, you know, perfect, absolutely perfect. So things like that do come in handy. You know, it always comes in handy. But like I say, you know, you don't have to go out and spend, you know, the money on these plugins. I would recommend certain plugins you actually do. You know, like Particular, for instance. I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, Trapcode Particular is by far another fantastic plugin. Really is worth investing the money in, especially if you sort of want to take you know, your visual looks, you know, what you do within a production, sort of to the next level, you know, to make your projects look as best as they possibly can. So I would say, you know, definitely without a doubt, you know, I would go for it. If you're sitting there thinking, you know, I want to get some plugins, what should I get? I mean, HitFilms, like I say, I don't really use. I'm not using them. Red Giant I use, you know, but I don't use every single one of them. Okay, so I use, for instance, like I've just said, Trapcode Particular. I use Shine, 3D Stroke I use in that. Tsunami I've used a couple of times. Texaniky, still got to figure that one out. TuneIt is like a, you know, it makes your productions look like a cartoon. Nothing really to, you know, shout home about. King, you know, it comes with 1.2 After Effects, but at the same time, HitFilms, the keying feature in HitFilms is great, and you've also, if I can remember, got a keying plugin within Red Giant as well, which is very good. Let me just try and find it, because I can't remember. I haven't used that one in a bit of time. It's around here somewhere. Key Corrects, I think it's this one here, King, yeah. Where is it? No, that's the one that comes built in. I'm talking shit. It's around here somewhere, but there is a key. I actually do think it's actually HitFilm, chroma keying. I actually think it's part of HitFilm, actually. This one here, we can chroma key, you know, green screen and all that. So yeah, I hope this has been of some interest to you guys. Like I say, you know, not all plugins are worth it, because, you know, you won't use them, but most of them you probably will. But, you know, hitting a strong point, if you're an After Effects user, there's certain plugins that you would need to get that you know, can help you big time, like Elements, like optical flares. I will say Heat Distortion is another one. If you've got Jetstrike or them sort of, you know, where you need to generate heat looks and stuff like that, you know, Heat Distortion will come in handy. Now it's funny because you can create Heat Distortion without this plugin. Okay, you can do it within After Effects, but it's just making your workflow or your pipeline a lot quicker, a lot sharper, and a lot better as well. So guys, look, I hope this has helped. Thanks for listening. If you've got any questions regarding certain plugins, and you know what you want to get, and you know, is this worth it, so on and so on, I'm pleased to answer your questions. Thanks for listening. Please give this a thumbs up, guys, and subscribe. I do appreciate you listening. Much love. Peace out, guys. Take care.